Hey, yo, wait, did the President of the United States just publicly call his own spy chief a liar? Either a liar or incompetent, and people aren't sure which is worse. You appointed a head of intelligence, but you don't believe them when they give you their intelligence. Because that's exactly what happened this week, and it could literally change the course of Middle Eastern history. Picture this. You're the American Director of National Intelligence. You tell Congress that Iran is not building nuclear weapons, according to your intelligence evidence. And then your own boss goes on live TV and says, I don't care what she says, she's wrong. This isn't a Netflix drama, by the way. This is real life geopolitics unfolding before our very eyes. In the circus currently, that is American government. And not that I'm biased, I'm just saying it's very theatrical. So here's what's actually happening. Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's intelligence chief, testified in March that according to the US intelligence agencies and the evidence they have, Iran suspended its nuclear weapons program back in 2003 and hasn't restarted it, along with its official Iranian position at a state level that we don't want nukes, we don't have nukes, we're not pursuing nukes. The assessment by American intelligence says even if Iran wanted to build a bomb, it would take them 3 years to create a deliverable warhead. But Trump, he's saying Iran is, quote, very close to having a nuclear weapon, and his intelligence community is flat out wrong. Source, trust me, bro, or trust Iran, bro. This is what happens when you are bought and paid for by AIPAC, the Israel lobby in America. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just happening in a vacuum, in isolation. Israel just launched strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. It's been a week, and Iran fired back missiles hitting Israeli cities, and this is potentially the opening chess moves of World War III, as many are worried it is. Spoiler alert, I don't think that's likely. I put it at 3% chance that this is going to escalate into World War III. 97% chance it won't. So you should be safe. People are literally dying in the hundreds, though, collectively, in both countries, while this intelligence dispute plays out in the States. And here's the kicker. Iran denies they're building weapons at all, saying that uranium enrichment is purely for peaceful purposes. Do they not have even that right? Apparently not. The international nuclear watchdog, IAEA, says Iran has been less than transparent, but they also haven't found evidence of active weapons development. Meanwhile, countries like Russia are calling the whole weapons narrative a groundless fabrication designed to justify military action. You know things are bad when Russia, currently at war itself, is saying, "Calm down, guys. Don't go crazy." So who do you believe? The U.S. intelligence agencies with decades of experience, and they don't benefit from lying here. They could be lying, of course, or publicly, but they don't benefit from lying here because it's putting them in direct opposition with the American head of state. So they aren't towing a line here. So do you believe them, or the president who's aligned with the Israeli claims? Or Iran, who insists they're peaceful, or international inspectors who say things are murky? I'm not sure. What a mess. But let me cut through the nonsense for you and give you my geopolitical analysis based on my research, evidence, and gut feeling. And trust me, it's a big gut feeling, if you know what I mean. I really do need to hit the gym. Trump not only agrees with his intelligence, this is my take, Trump actually agrees with his intelligence, that Iran hasn't ramped up development of nukes, but he publicly states otherwise. He takes the other side, basically, publicly, because in the shadows, behind the scenes, his AIPAC handlers are watching very closely. He's bought and paid for, guys. He campaigned and he got hundreds of millions in donations from Zionists and the Israel lobby. So if he deviates too far from what they want, they might get furious and roll up their, metaphoric sleeves, as it were. He has to balance appeasing them with his own goals, which actually go against them. Trump's true goal, making America great again. And he knows that cannot be achieved with another Middle Eastern war where you support Israel. I'm saying my analytical conclusion is that Trump and America, by and large, do not want a war, but must look like they are ready to go to war so that Israel is appeased, so they're kept at bay. They don't get upset. Why does great power USA need to appease Israel, you might be wondering? Well, that's a topic for another whole video on the AIPAC lobby, the Israel lobby in America, and the power it now wields in America in its hybrid democracy, as an American think tank itself reports. It calls America a flawed democracy, after years of AIPAC being embedded in the apparatus of the state. It's got some serious influence. We need to talk about that in more detail in another video. For now, the summary is this. Israel wants a war. America and Iran do not. But America and Trump particularly are making a show of being ready for war and supporting the Israeli narrative so as to appease his pro-Israeli donors and backers. But he still hopes he doesn't actually have to follow through eventually. The question everyone's asking though is, where will this lead? Will it fizzle out between Iran and Israel, and America will drag its heels long enough not to get involved at all, and then it can be like, oh, the fight's over? Oh no, I missed the fight. Oh well, back to MAGA. Will they do that? Or will they be forced to step in and, Iraq, Afghanistan, not only terrifyingly catastrophic for the natives, but also America lost out as well, except for the defense contractors, the merchants of death, who made a very pretty penny in those wars and would make a pretty penny once more. It's a big question, though, what's going to happen. Will they, won't they join this war? Because the answer might determine whether we're looking at a diplomatic negotiation that's ongoing and expansive, maybe for years at a time, or a wider Middle Eastern war that might trigger World War III. That not ideal, not gonna lie. And Trump says he'll decide America's next move within 2 weeks. And I will keep you posted with that news and the other unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin. I'm Mahfouz. I've got 2 smoke alarms, and I'll see you on the next one.